It's definitely an iconic story coming from a classic 1980s movie, and it's playing now at the National Arts Centre. Joining us to talk about the Neverending Story, we say hello to Andrew Iles, joining us right now. Nice to have you on the program.
Thank you.
You're playing Atreyu.
Yeah.
Neat. And Bastian is played by Jake Runeckles. Hello, Jake.
Yeah. Hello.
Good to have you here. Was it your dream? I read this, that a dream to perform at the NAC one day, and here you are?
It was. I haven't been to Ottawa in about 10 years, and so it's great to be back here and skate on the Rideau Canal and everything. I just have a childhood memory of that, and so the NAC is like such a huge artistic hub, and so it's a beautiful building, so it's a real pleasure to perform there.
That is great, and it's great to live out these dreams, obviously. Now, did you know much about this movie, Andrew, before you were cast into this role?
No, not particularly. Like I had like older cousins that definitely watched it, but at that time I was a toddler. But I do remember like flashes of the film, because you know some scenes are very, very distinct.
Of course.
But yeah, no, my experience has been like just with this production.
Yeah, interesting.
That's how I've encountered the story. Yeah.
So I wonder then, does that make it easier or more difficult to not know the story as well?
Probably easier, because then, you know, when you get the script, I look at it as a play, and I'm an actor, so that's what I want to be observing. And sometimes, you know, if you see like a movie beforehand, you put a lot of a stake onto making the performance kind of like that, and you kind of limit yourself as an actor. You can't make certain choices, and so it kind of frees you up to just say, okay, this is the story here that we're working with. I'm going to go with this.
Okay, so Jake, what is it like then to bring these iconic characters to life? Because obviously a lot of people do know the movie, they know the characters. Is it a lot of fun to bring this to stage?
Oh, it's incredible. When we're in the space, the Babs Asper Theatre, and looking out, occasionally I get to look out from the audience at the stage, and it's this like just it's like a festival of lights. And to be up there to play these iconic characters and figure out our own way into them. And for me, I remember being a very bookish kid, and so I connect to Bastian in that way, and so it's been really wonderful.
I was just going to ask if you can relate to the character.
Yeah. I mean, I think Bastian he loves books. He doesn't have a whole lot of friends, and he actually gets made fun of for his love of books. And I mean, growing up, I was a very academic kid. I had a few friends, but I kind of kept to my studies all the time. I would read a lot of nonfiction. That's how Bastian and I differ. So I totally. I get where he's coming from.
Okay, so Andrew, let's talk about the story, though. For people who don't know the Neverending Story, what is the premise? What's going on?
Okay, well, it actually starts with Bastian.
Yeah.
Like Jake was describing, you know, like troubles at home, right? Troubles at school with bullying and that, and so he runs into this this bookshop for refuge. After being chased by these bullies, and he encounters this this bookseller, and they get to talking, and the bookseller kind of persuades him in an offhand way to take this book. And so Bastian then retreats to, I think it's like the attic of like a cleaning closet in his school to just read this book, because that's what he needs. And that's where you encounter Atreyu. Atreyu is the hunter inside this book, so the story within the story. And we find out that Fantastica, this world of imagination, which is the world of the book, is in danger of being destroyed by this force called the Nothing. And Atreyu answers the call to try to defeat the Nothing and save Fantastica.
All right. Okay, so Jake, it sounds like it's pretty close to the movie, but are there different things added along the way that wouldn't be in the movie, that would be surprises?
Yeah, I think that we meet a few characters that that we don't necessarily get to see in the movie. For example, Igramel the Many, which is it's a spider, and it takes 7 people to all come together. They're all each person has a leg of the spider center, and one holds the huge head of the spire. It pretty much takes up the entire stage, and it's pretty incredible to watch.
That sounds incredible, and I know we're seeing footage of the play here as well, and it looks like there's a lot of lights, a lot of action going on. Andrew, can I ask you then, so how are the response? What's the response like? It's been running since end of January.
Yeah, the response has been pretty great. Yeah. I mean, from adults and children alike. The great thing about having a show that that is kind of available to this wide demographic of ages, probably from like 4 till, let's say, 104. The kids let you know right away when something's working and something isn't. So we hear their little voices in the audience, kind of, you know.
Beautiful.
And so, yeah, it's been great.
Get your tickets through the NAC box office. Thanks very much for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Story. More daytime coming up.